Welcome on board, Chosen One. Stop scrolling right now and listen carefully, because this is not the algorithm playing tricks on your screen. This is an urgent interception routed directly to you. The heavy attacks you have been facing recently are not random. They are hard proof that a massive shift is happening right this second, and you cannot look away. Funny how everyone pretended they did not see you coming. They always described you the same way in their little groups. You were too kind and too forgiving. You were the one who stayed quiet just to keep the peace. And because of that gentle nature, they severely underestimated your spirit while they plotted to completely destroy your light in front of everyone. But they failed miserably. They teamed up to isolate you and push you into the dark. They whispered lies and turned an entire community against your name. It felt like walking through a storm completely alone. You questioned your own sanity. You wondered if heaven had abandoned you to the wolves, but the universe was actually setting a brilliant trap. Right now, that same collective is panicking. The very people who plotted your downfall are watching everything they built start to crumble. Their foundations are shaking while you remain untouched. They thought betrayal would break you permanently, but instead, it activated a primal and dangerous level of spiritual power inside you, and you are now the undeniable anomaly. There is a massive secret about what is happening behind the scenes. Heaven is preparing to expose exactly how their dark mechanism failed, but you must stay locked on this message until the final second. If you leave now, you will completely miss the revelation. You will not understand the true power you just inherited, and you will single-handedly strip yourself of the exact divine key you need to survive. This is your final warning from the divine courts. The window to claim your new authority is closing very fast. You have felt that strange tightness in your chest all week. You have been waking up at 3 in the morning with your mind racing. That is not anxiety, but rather your spiritual antenna detecting the absolute panic of your enemies, because they are deeply terrified of the magnificent power you just unlocked. They realize they cannot control what they cannot understand. Your silence has become a heavy weapon that terrifies them every single day. They are desperately trying to figure out how you survived their coordinated attack. And the universe is about to show them exactly why you are untouchable, while a magnificent table is being prepared for you right in their presence. Do you remember the nights you cried yourself to sleep? You begged for a single sign that your pain meant something. You asked why you had to endure such cruel manipulation from people you trusted. The answer is finally here, and it will absolutely shock your system. The universe allowed them to push you into the dirt so you could finally discover your absolute strength and become a blinding weapon of light. They needed you to believe you were weak. They fed off your pure energy because their own souls were entirely bankrupt. The collective targeted you because your frequency was a massive threat to their illusions. Every time you walked into a room, your light exposed their hidden shadows. They hated you for shining so brightly, and they tried to extinguish your flame together, but their dark efforts only fueled your massive ascension. You are no longer the empath who begs for basic understanding. The crucible of pain has forged you into the master of your reality. Your energy now demands immediate respect without a single word being spoken. The people who mocked your kindness are about to witness your undeniable ascension. They will be forced to watch your victory from the sidelines while they choke on the very words they use to curse your name. But there is a specific mechanism you must understand to keep this power. If you swipe away too soon, the blessing will still arrive, but you will not have the spiritual equipment to hold it properly. The darkness wants you to get distracted right now. They want you to lose focus and miss this divine transmission, because they know this hidden knowledge will permanently break their control over your precious life. Listen closely, because this next part is absolutely crucial for your survival. The collective is trying one last desperate tactic to drain your frequency. They will try to send a counterfeit apology to pull you back into their matrix. You must be heavily prepared to recognize this illusion. I am going to reveal the exact fatal trap they are laying right now, and you must listen with your entire spirit to avoid their final snare. Do not let your eyes wander from these words. Your soul has been hungry for this exact validation for a very long time. You are the cycle breaker that your entire bloodline has been waiting for. The storm you survived alone was the final test of your initiation. Prepare yourself to receive the ultimate truth about your enemies, because the divine revelation begins right now, and your reality will never be the same again. Let us take a slow breath together, right now. Breathe in the silence, and let the heavy weight drop from your tired shoulders. You have been carrying an impossible burden for so long. The pain in your chest is completely real. You feel a deep ache when you remember how quickly they all turned their backs. It feels like a massive betrayal. You gave them everything you had. You poured your pure energy into that community. You thought they were your true spiritual family. But the moment you finally set a boundary, they suddenly labeled you as the villain. They grouped together to cast you out. And it was absolutely devastating to watch people you loved believe terrible lies about your character. The sudden isolation hit you like a physical blow. You spent days wondering what you did wrong to deserve such cruel treatment. You replayed every conversation in your head, trying to find your mistake. But I am here to tell you a profound truth today. You did absolutely nothing wrong. Your only crime was being too pure for a room full of hidden shadows. They could not handle your bright light. They were deeply uncomfortable around your raw honesty. The collective was built on fake smiles and shallow connections. When you walked in with genuine authenticity, it triggered their deepest insecurities. So they had to remove you. They had to push you away because your presence alone exposed their dirty secrets. You survived the storm completely alone. You cried silent tears while they laughed together. You felt like you were going crazy. The extreme loneliness made you question your entire spiritual path. But you must understand that this pain was actually a divine intervention. Heaven deliberately pulled you away from that toxic environment to save your life. Listen carefully to me right now. Do not let their cruel rejection define your precious worth. They did not push you away because you were broken or unworthy. They rejected you because you were finally healing and outgrowing their toxic level. You became the empath with firm boundaries. A healed person no longer tolerates disrespect, disguised as community love. You demanded real truth. Before we go any further, I need you to pause. Put your hand over your aching heart. I want you to feel that steady rhythm beating inside your chest. That is the rhythm of a true survivor. You did not break when the entire group tried to crush your spirit. You bent under the immense pressure, but your soul refused to permanently snap. They wanted you to apologize for being yourself. They expected you to crawl back and beg for their fake acceptance. But you chose the quiet path of lonely integrity instead. You walked away with your head held high while your heart was bleeding. That takes an extraordinary amount of spiritual strength. You are a rare soul. It is completely normal to feel exhausted today. Your nervous system has been on high alert for months. Every time your phone rings, you expect another attack or another twisted rumor. You suddenly hate small talk. You feel physically drained when you are forced to be around large groups of people. This is because your energy field is currently repairing itself. Your spirit is building a massive wall of light. It is heavily guarding your peace against future emotional vampires. The universe is telling you that your intuition was perfectly accurate all along. You sensed their dark intentions long before they finally showed their true faces. You felt the subtle shifts in their tone and the coldness in their eyes. You tried to ignore your own gut feeling. You wanted to see the good in them because your heart is so pure. You made excuses for their bad behavior to avoid the painful reality. But heaven could not let you stay blind any longer. The brutal truth had to be revealed so you could finally step into your true power. The mask had to fall completely. Let this deep validation wash over your tired mind. Stop carrying the heavy guilt of a failed relationship that you tried so hard to save. You cannot fix people who are deeply committed to misunderstanding you. Their inability to see your immense value is their loss. It is never your responsibility to shrink your light just to make them feel comfortable. This painful chapter was a brutal awakening, but it was absolutely necessary for your profound evolution. You are the chosen one who had to experience the deepest darkness. You had to learn how to stand entirely alone before you could lead others. Your period of crying in the dark is officially coming to a permanent end. The healing has already begun. Take another slow and deep breath with me. Feel the heavy chains of their judgment falling off your shoulders right now. You are safe in this quiet space. The worst of the vicious storm is finally behind you. Tap the like button as an act of agreement with what God just spoke to you. You have successfully passed the hardest emotional test of your life, and your true healing begins today. There is a massive truth they desperately tried to hide from you. I need you to listen closely, because this changes everything. You thought the brutal betrayal was your ultimate failure. You believed the sudden rejection meant you were deeply flawed. But while you were crying over their cruel exit, the universe was actually orchestrating a magnificent plan to protect your beautiful soul. Stop blaming yourself for the painful delays in your life. Stop thinking you did something terribly wrong to deserve their harsh judgment. The profound truth is that heaven deliberately slowed you down. The divine realm forcefully intervened to protect you from entering rooms you were never meant to walk into, and it was an absolute rescue mission. The people who walked away were secretly assigned to drain your pure energy. They were emotional vampires, disguised as your loyal friends. If they had stayed in your life, they would have destroyed your magnificent future. The divine universe clearly saw their hidden daggers, and the divine forces stepped in to permanently sever those toxic connections before they could ruin your glorious destiny. You called their sudden exit a heartbreaking betrayal. You cried because you felt entirely abandoned by your chosen community, but the heavenly realms call it divine isolation. This extreme loneliness is not a cruel punishment from above. It is a highly specialized quarantine protocol designed to fiercely protect your spiritual frequency from their heavy darkness and manipulative lies. They tried to convince you that you were the crazy one. They spun wild stories to make you look completely unstable to outsiders. But you are not delusional, and you are not broken. You are simply highly calibrated to a frequency they cannot comprehend. Your pure soul naturally operates on a level of absolute truth that terrifies their fake existence every single day. Before you do anything else, take a deep breath. I want you to completely release the heavy guilt you have been carrying for years. You absolutely did not ruin those fragile relationships. The divine alignment shattered them on purpose because they were built on absolute lies. The universe cleared the stage to prepare for your glorious arrival and removed everyone who could block your profound path. You must understand that isolation is the ultimate training ground for true masters. Every powerful spiritual warrior must walk through the quiet desert alone. The profound silence is where you finally learn to hear your own authentic voice. It is where you shed the heavy expectations of people who never truly loved you, while you slowly build an impenetrable fortress of divine light. They wanted to keep you small and compliant. The collective system requires blind obedience to function properly without any disruption. But you are an incredibly rare cycle breaker. You were born with a rebellious light that naturally challenges their comfortable shadows. You simply cannot exist peacefully inside a dark box built by terrified narcissists who feed on your pure energy. Think about the immense peace you actually feel now. Yes, the sudden rejection hurt your tender heart, but deep down your spirit feels incredibly light today. You no longer have to carefully monitor every word you freely speak. You no longer have to shrink your bright aura just to make them feel slightly comfortable when they are secretly intimidated by your massive presence. You have successfully passed the hardest phase of the crucible. The pain of separation was agonizing, but it forged you into pure steel. You are the one who survived the brutal storm alone. And because you survived without seeking their validation, you have unlocked a supreme level of quiet authority that absolutely terrifies the people who tried to destroy your beautiful name. I promise to reveal the massive truth they desperately hid from you. Are you absolutely ready to hear this profound secret? The shocking reality is that they never actually hated your personality. They were completely terrified of your blinding light because it ruthlessly exposed their dirty secrets. They pushed you away in sheer absolute panic when they realized they could never manipulate your strong spirit. Your pure existence reminded them of everything they failed to become. They saw your raw potential, and it made their own failures painfully obvious. The betrayal was never about your lack of intrinsic worth. It was an involuntary reaction from a group of terrified souls who could not handle your ultimate truth and desperately needed a scapegoat to hide their own insecurities. You are completely absolved of any wrongdoing today. The universe has officially cleared your beautiful name in the spiritual courts. The heavy burden of self-blame is permanently lifted from your tired shoulders. You can finally walk with absolute pride because you stood your unshakable ground when the entire crowd tried to destroy your holy mission. Let this profound realization settle deeply into your tired bones. The divine isolation was your ultimate blessing in brilliant disguise. It kept your frequency incredibly pure for the massive upgrade that is approaching right now. You are perfectly positioned to receive the grand reward that heaven has been fiercely protecting for you, while the universe prepares to publicly vindicate your magnificent soul. Now I must reveal exactly why your past felt so incredibly heavy. It was never just bad luck or random unfortunate events. The dark period was an intense spiritual collision between two entirely different frequencies. You operated on a timeline of pure light, while they existed in a matrix of heavy fear, and when your light touched their shadows, the massive friction caused absolute chaos. The universe had to shatter your old reality to pull you out of their toxic grip. They used a very specific mechanism to keep you trapped in a low vibration. They constantly triggered your survival instincts, so you would stay exhausted and confused. But they completely failed to realize that your spirit was divinely protected from their sinister manipulation the entire time. Right now, that dark collective is experiencing absolute panic. They threw their heaviest weapons at your mind and expected you to completely shatter. They watched you fall down, and they celebrated your painful tears in secret. But then you quietly stood back up without asking for their permission. And that single act of silent resilience absolutely terrified their fragile egos. They do not understand how you survived their coordinated destruction. Your current silence is driving them completely insane. They check your silent presence from a distance and wonder why you are not begging for their toxic validation anymore. The truth is, your sudden absence created a massive void in their reality that their fake friends can never truly fill today. You are officially the master of your reality today. The old empath who constantly apologized for simply existing has officially died. You have been beautifully resurrected as a weapon of pure light. Type 111 down in the comments to claim this alignment. This simple act of claiming your power sends a massive shockwave directly into the camps of your hidden enemies. But you must understand the exact traps they laid for you. The darkness used a heavily coordinated strategy to drain your spiritual power. There are 3 hidden traps of darkness they actively deployed to steal your divine birthright. If you do not recognize these traps, they will try to use them against you again in the very near future. Listen closely to this crucial warning. Number 1 is the trap of manufactured guilt. They expertly twisted every narrative to make you feel responsible for their own toxic behavior. When they hurt you, they immediately played the victim, so you would apologize for their cruel actions. They needed you to carry their heavy karma because their own weak souls were completely unable to bear the weight of their massive sins. You absorbed their heavy guilt because your heart was far too pure. You spent countless sleepless nights wondering how you could fix a situation that you never actually broke. This first trap kept your energy completely tied to their low frequency for years. But heaven stepped in and severed that parasitic cord forever when they pushed you a little too far into the dark edge. Number 2 is the trap of collective isolation. They knew they could not defeat your powerful spirit in a fair one-on-one fight. So they weaponized the entire community against you to break your strong will. They spread malicious rumors behind your back to ensure no one would stand by your side when the massive storm finally arrived at your front door. They wanted you to feel entirely alone in a crowded room. The collective isolation was designed to make you desperately crave their fake acceptance. They expected you to lower your high standards just to buy back your seat at their toxic table. But they severely miscalculated the immense strength you carry inside your spirit when you are pushed into absolute solitude. Your solitude did not break you at all. It actually upgraded your spiritual armor and sharpened your divine intuition to a razor edge. The isolation trap backfired spectacularly because it only taught you how to source your immense power directly from the divine realm. They accidentally turned you into an entirely untouchable force of nature while trying to destroy your gentle peace. Now they are watching you thrive from the dark shadows. The very people who threw dirt on your name are incredibly confused by your sudden growth. They thought they buried you deep in the ground, but they did not know you were a powerful divine seed that needed the dark dirt to finally sprout into a magnificent tree of absolute power and profound wisdom. Their panic is growing every single day as your light gets brighter. They are desperately trying to find a new way to access your precious energy field. But the heavy gates to your kingdom are permanently closed to their manipulation. You are standing firmly in your quiet authority, and your brilliant aura is currently blinding everyone who previously doubted your profound spiritual mission. But wait, there is a third and incredibly dangerous trap you must know about. This final trap is the most deceptive illusion they have ever created. It is designed to pull you backward, just as you are stepping into your massive victory. I will reveal this third trap very soon, because it is the exact mechanism they are using right now to block your ultimate breakthrough. Number 3 is the trap of the false return. This is the most manipulative illusion the narcissists will ever use against your pure heart. Right as you begin to shine brightly, they will suddenly circle back. They will send a tiny breadcrumb of fake affection to see if you are still vulnerable. They do not want to apologize to you. They simply want to check if their dark chains still hold your spirit captive today. They are deeply starving for your bright energy. The collective is literally running on empty because their primary supply of pure light is completely gone. You were the massive battery that kept their dark matrix functioning properly for years. Now that you have completely withdrawn your presence, they are turning on each other in absolute panic. Their fake loyalties are rapidly crumbling without your gentle grace to hold them together. You must see them for exactly what they truly are. They are not a loving community, but a terrified group of shallow narcissists. They hide behind fake smiles and spiritual words, but their actions carry absolute poison. They target beautiful souls like you because you possess the deep empathy they completely lack. They mirror your light for a short time, but they can never sustain that holy frequency on their own. It is absolutely crucial that you release the heavy past right now. You cannot carry their dark karma into your glorious new timeline. The universe is loudly demanding a massive purge of your immediate environment. You must violently cut the invisible cords that still tie your mind to their cruel judgments. Stop checking to see if they finally realized your worth, because their blind eyes will never see your true glory. Your intuition is demanding a total upgrade tonight, but heaven cannot pour new wine into an old and broken vessel. You must completely empty your spirit of the painful memories that keep you up at night. Every time you replay their harsh words in your mind, you are actively handing your supreme power right back to the enemy. You must aggressively reclaim your mental space, starting this exact second. I need you to physically drop the heavy bags of resentment. You are not forgiving them to excuse their terrible behavior. You are releasing them to permanently unlock your own prison door. Forgiveness is the ultimate weapon of a true master of reality. It instantly neutralizes their dark poison and completely seals your energetic field against any future attacks from their crumbling camp. They want you to stay bitter and totally obsessed with their betrayal. A bitter spirit operates on a very low frequency that is incredibly easy to manipulate. But a healed empath with strict boundaries is an unstoppable force of nature. When you finally let go of the need for their apology, you instantly ascend to a timeline they cannot even perceive. You literally vanish from their low vibration radar completely. Take a very deep breath right here. Feel the stagnant energy leaving your tired body as you finally exhale. The universe is actively recalibrating your entire nervous system while you listen to these healing words. The extreme fatigue you feel is simply the old trauma, leaving your cellular memory forever. You are actively stepping into the pure identity of the chosen one who survived the storm entirely alone. Do not look back at the burning bridges behind you. The fire was divinely set to ensure you never return to a table that was actively poisoning your soul. You are a massive threat to the kingdom of darkness today, and heaven is fiercely preparing you for a mission that requires absolute clarity and sharp spiritual vision. The heavy fog of confusion is completely lifting from your tired mind right now. Your sharp intuition was perfectly accurate when it first warned you about them. You simply ignored the divine red flags because you wanted to heal their broken wings. But you are not a rehabilitation center for toxic narcissists. Your holy assignment is to shine brightly from a safe distance while they figure out their own dark karma. You must aggressively protect your divine peace at all costs from this moment forward. They are completely furious that they can no longer control your massive heart. The narcissists are slowly suffocating in the toxic environment they created for themselves. You do not need to lift a single finger to seek any revenge. The universe is actively executing absolute justice on your behalf, while you sit quietly and focus entirely on your beautiful spiritual ascension. Listen carefully to this powerful truth. Your sudden departure was the absolute worst thing that could ever happen to their fake community. They lost the crown jewel of their entire collective. And deep down in their dark souls, they absolutely know it. They will spend the rest of their pathetic lives trying to find another pure supply, but they will never find another soul quite like yours. You have officially been upgraded. The intense purging process is finally complete, and your intuition is now completely bulletproof. You can instantly detect a fake smile from miles away, and you no longer tolerate any subtle disrespect disguised as a joke. You are perfectly calibrated to receive the massive blessing that heaven is sending down, and the universe is about to show you absolute proof that your victory is already here. The shift is happening right now, in this exact moment. You can feel the heavy energy turning entirely in your favor. The universe is actively setting a massive table of absolute abundance right in front of your former enemies. They are watching from a safe distance as you steadily rise above their toxic games. Your ultimate vindication is no longer a distant dream, but a solid physical reality. The spiritual atmosphere is literally vibrating with your incoming victory today. There are 3 undeniable signs that heaven is finalizing your grand reward right now. Number 1 is the sudden appearance of strange synchronicities in your daily life. You are seeing repeating numbers everywhere you look. The powerful sequence 777 is following you around like a divine shadow. This is heaven actively confirming that your massive payout is currently being processed in the highest spiritual courts. You are perfectly aligned with absolute abundance. The second sign is a deep and unshakable peace that makes absolutely no logical sense. A few short months ago, you would be completely destroyed by the vicious rumors they spread. But today you hear their toxic whispers and you feel nothing but pure indifference. The intense panic has been completely replaced by a quiet authority that heavily anchors your soul during the wildest storms. You are walking confidently in a permanent state of absolute grace. You sleep incredibly soundly while they stay awake, stressing over their crumbling matrix. Your fragile nervous system has finally exited the exhausting survival mode for good. You wake up feeling incredibly light and ready to receive your daily miracles. The sudden absence of daily anxiety is the absolute proof that heaven has firmly secured your perimeter. They simply cannot touch your holy frequency anymore, no matter how hard they try to drag you down. The third clear sign is the sudden opening of entirely new doors. Beautiful people who truly value your unique light are unexpectedly entering your timeline right now. The universe is sending you a brand new tribe of authentic souls who speak your exact language. These pure connections do not require you to shrink or apologize for your immense spiritual power because they recognize your true worth. They celebrate your blinding light instead of trying to extinguish it with their heavy shadows. Meanwhile, the dark collective is facing massive blockages in their own miserable lives. Their financial doors are mysteriously slamming shut without any logical explanation. Their shallow relationships are completely falling apart because they lack the pure glue of your loving energy. They are experiencing the exact painful isolation they maliciously tried to force upon your innocent spirit, and it is destroying them. The divine scales of ultimate justice are finally balancing out in real time today. You are about to witness the ultimate plot twist of your entire lifetime. The very platforms they used to humiliate you will become the exact stage for your glorious elevation. Heaven is going to bless you so incredibly loudly that the people who heavily doubted you will be forced to hear it. Your massive and undeniable success will be their ultimate and permanent punishment from the divine realm. Every single tear you cried in the dark has been carefully collected by heaven. Those powerful tears were transformed into golden seeds of pure generational wealth. Those seeds are rapidly sprouting into a massive harvest of financial freedom and absolute peace. The painful delay you experienced was simply the universe taking extra time to prepare a massive feast for your arrival. You are proudly stepping into a profound kingdom upgrade right now. But before we go to the deeper revelation, I have to address something incredibly crucial. A fatal trap has been secretly set up right at the finish line of your holy journey. 99% of chosen ones fall for this massive illusion right before their ultimate breakthrough arrives in their reality. The darkness absolutely knows they cannot stop your incoming blessing, so they will try to make you drop it. This dark trap is a brilliant disguise designed to test your brand new boundaries. The universe desperately wants to know if you are truly ready to hold this immense power safely. If you fail to recognize this final test, you might accidentally invite the heavy darkness right back into your sacred space before the victory. You must remain incredibly vigilant as the golden gates finally begin to swing wide open today. You have done the deep inner work, and you have survived the worst possible storms completely alone. Do not let a cheap trick steal your glorious crown at the very last second. I am going to expose this sneaky illusion completely, so your pure soul can cross the finish line completely untouched and fully protected. You are dangerously close to the grand climax of this incredibly painful chapter of your life. Take a very deep breath and ground your high energy firmly into the earth. The spiritual velocity is accelerating rapidly, and you need to stay entirely focused on these next crucial words. The massive table is fully set, and your beautiful golden chair is waiting for you to take your rightful place. The terrified enemies are heavily forced to watch you eat from the bountiful harvest they desperately tried to completely destroy. The fatal trap I warned you about is finally exposed today. It is the sudden appearance of a toxic counterfeit from your painful past. Right as your massive blessing approaches the golden door, someone will reach out to you, and they will offer a fake apology disguised as genuine love. Do not reply to their desperate message. That is the final test from the universe to see if your boundaries are truly made of solid steel. You must ignore their manipulative breadcrumbs completely today. Their sudden return is simply a dark trick to lower your high vibration. The collective senses your incoming wealth, and they desperately want a piece of your new glory. If you engage with them, you will accidentally pause your divine delivery. Your absolute silence is the ultimate weapon that destroys their final illusion and completely secures your glorious victory. Here is the massive truth you waited for since the beginning. The real reason heaven allowed that collective to hurt you was never a punishment. It was a rigorous legal process in the spiritual courts. The universe needed undeniable physical proof of their deep corruption to completely strip them of their power. They literally dug their own massive graves while desperately trying to bury your innocent soul in the dark dirt. They unknowingly transferred their spiritual wealth directly into your holy hands. When they falsely accused your pure name, they activated a divine law of absolute compensation. Everything they stole from your energy field is being returned 1,000 times over right now. You did not just survive their brutal emotional storm. You actually absorbed the raw energy of that storm and became an unstoppable force of nature. Right now, the Dark Collective is waking up to this horrifying reality. They are finally realizing that they handed you the ultimate key to the kingdom. They tried to curse your magnificent destiny, but their dark words simply bounced off your shield. Their toxic curses were instantly transmuted into golden blessings by the divine realm. They are watching you thrive, and it is burning their fragile egos to the ground. The painful waiting season is officially over for you today. The dry desert you walked through has suddenly burst into a magnificent oasis of divine favor. Every single closed door is being blown completely off its massive hinges right now. Can you feel that powerful shift vibrating deep inside your spirit? That is the glorious frequency of absolute victory running straight through your fully healed veins. You are stepping into the exact divine timeline you were born to rule. You are the brave cycle breaker who ended the heavy generational curse forever. You are the untouchable master of your physical reality today. The heavy crown of quiet authority is being placed securely on your head while your enemies watch in absolute terror. They can never touch your holy anointing because it was forged in a sacred fire. Stand extremely tall in your magnificent light today. Look at how incredibly far you have come, entirely alone, without their fake support. You survived the terrifying nights when you thought your broken heart would completely stop beating. You walked bravely through the dark valley of isolation, and you emerged from the heavy shadows as a brilliant weapon of pure, blinding light. The universe is incredibly proud of your endurance. Your glorious ascension is now an undeniable physical reality. The people who mocked your gentle kindness are completely silenced today. Their irrelevant opinions hold absolutely no weight in your new magical kingdom. You have officially graduated from the brutal school of spiritual warfare. You hold the ultimate diploma of divine wisdom, and your bright future is entirely funded by the infinite wealth of the universe. The pitch-black darkness has completely retreated behind you. The bright dawn of the new era is shining its warmest rays directly onto your spiritual crown. Your energy is vibrating at the highest possible frequency right this second. You are entirely surrounded by an impenetrable fortress of pure divine light. Nothing from your painful past can ever reach you inside this holy sanctuary. The massive breakthrough is finally yours. But you must completely lock in this glorious frequency today. You must establish a firm physical anchor to keep this powerful energy flowing endlessly into your daily life. The spiritual realm requires a physical action to completely seal this new divine contract. When you take bold action, you signal to the universe that you are fully prepared to receive the massive harvest. You are officially accepting your heavy mantle. Take one final deep breath and absorb this absolute divine triumph. Feel the warm golden light filling every single empty space inside your healing chest. You have won the ultimate spiritual war without lifting a single physical finger against them. Your absolute vindication is permanently written in the bright stars and printed in the heavenly courts. Get ready to finalize this divine activation and claim your massive reward right now. The time for crying over broken connections is permanently over. You have officially crossed the threshold into your brand new era. The universe is incredibly proud of the massive resilience you showed during the darkest nights. And heaven is heavily sealing this magnificent victory right now, so no enemy can ever steal it from your hands again. You are standing firmly on the holy mountain of your absolute triumph. Look down at the chaotic valley you just climbed out of entirely alone. The toxic collective that tried to destroy your spirit is still trapped down there in their own heavy karma. But you are breathing the pure air of absolute freedom up here, and your vision is finally crystal clear today. They wanted your pure light to completely extinguish under their massive pressure. They expected you to shatter into a million tiny pieces, but the intense pressure simply turned your beautiful soul into an unbreakable diamond. You are the rare cycle breaker who took the worst poison of your bloodline and miraculously transmuted it into the sweetest medicine. Your new identity as the master of your reality is heavily solidified today. You no longer need to beg for a seat at any table. You own the entire building now. The people who desperately tried to lock you out of their fragile rooms will soon be knocking on your massive golden doors. But you will not answer, because your precious energy is strictly reserved for pure souls. This is the glorious moment of your absolute vindication. Heaven is loudly declaring your absolute innocence in the spiritual courts right now. Every single lie they told about your beautiful name is being instantly burned away by divine fire. You can finally rest your tired mind because the exhausting battle is completely finished and you won everything. They will try to study your massive success from a very safe distance. The narcissists will secretly watch your life unfold in absolute wonder and deep regret. But their bitter envy cannot penetrate the thick walls of your golden kingdom. You are safely elevated above their petty games, and you will never have to shrink your beautiful soul for them again. Close your eyes for one brief moment and feel this absolute truth. The heavy armor you wore for survival is completely melting away. It is being replaced by the soft garments of royalty and total divine peace. Your hard-assigned mission in that dark valley is fully accomplished, and heaven is loudly applauding your brilliant spiritual victory right now. But we must actively lock in this high frequency before you leave this sacred space. The dark forces will attempt to distract you the second you look away. They want you to easily forget the massive power you just reclaimed. You must build a permanent energy shield right now to protect this glorious activation from their desperate and sneaky little attacks. I need you to participate in a holy physical ritual to anchor this truth. Type Amen down in the comments to permanently seal this new reality. When you type that simple word, You are sending a heavy shockwave of pure authority into the spiritual realm. You are officially telling the universe that you are fully prepared to hold this massive and beautiful blessing. Hit the subscribe button right now to establish a divine energy receiving station. This is not just about joining a simple channel on the internet. This is about intentionally linking your spirit to a highly protected frequency of absolute abundance. You are building a massive energetic wall that the toxic narcissists can never penetrate or bypass again. Do not let this powerful moment pass you by without taking physical action. Tap the like button like a sharp sword cutting through the final chains of your painful past. Every single action you take right now is a heavy brick in your new spiritual fortress. The universe honors the bold actions of a chosen one who absolutely knows their true divine worth today. If this fiery message has reignited the dying faith inside you, do not keep it hidden. There is another beautiful soul out there, bleeding in the dark of deep despair. They are desperately needing a guiding light right now. Share this message with them to multiply your own blessing. Sowing the seed of hope today guarantees a massive harvest of peace tomorrow morning. You have officially starved the darkness of your precious light. The toxic collective is completely powerless without your gentle grace to feed on. They are fading into absolute irrelevance while your magnificent star is rising higher than ever before. Walk entirely forward into your bright destiny and never look back at the burning bridges of your past. Your glorious season of overflowing abundance officially begins right this second. Receive this heavy mantle of divine authority with a deeply grateful heart. You are fiercely protected, and you are deeply cherished by the highest divine powers. Stay firmly locked in this beautiful frequency until we meet again, because you are absolutely untouchable now.